What is going on, everyone? It's Ricky with Tech Solutions. Hope you guys are all having an amazing Thursday night. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I just have one breakdown that I wanted to share, some correlation that I saw when it came down to a specific future itself, and how that correlates over to the specific stock that it is that I'm investing in, and kind of what commodity it's based off of and stuff like that. So just providing a little bit more insight. Again, please make sure that you don't trade based on other people's opinion. Me sharing my thought process does not mean that you should trade based on what it is that I'm saying. And you should always have a plan when investing, so knowing your entry, exit, and stop loss. If you guys weren't able to watch one of my videos today, I was up a little bit over $1,100 on the day. If you guys watched the video that I uploaded right before this one, it showed my trade live and stuff like that. It caught it all on the live stream of covering profits, and it showed the two trades that I took and what led to my success. And yeah, kept it pretty simple. Gonna do the same thing, and I'm just gonna get straight to the point. I'm really tired. It's about midnight, actually 12:01 a.m. My GTR, the silver one, broke down today, so that was again, it's just the car, but definitely does suck, and hopefully we can get it fixed tomorrow, so I'll follow up with that. Real quick, the breakdown is ticker symbol FRAC, support 13.50, resistance $15, percentage potential for profit is $11, horizontal pattern, and then don't forget to lock in profits. So I'm going to start breaking this down and sharing my thought process, the correlation that I see between a specific future and the stock itself. First of all, I'm going to talk about the pattern that I see value in. So if you look at the overall position for ticker symbol FRAC, it offers a very horizontal pattern, usually a pattern from around $14 support, $16 resistance. Had a pretty solid sell-off after it pushed up today. So with that sell-off, again, it didn't make lower lows. It was still selling off, but it was doing a pretty good job. If you look at the 1 day, 1 minute chart, if you look, you guys can see that it caught pretty well right around and above 1350, and that's what we want to make sure that we see. If it continues to make lower lows, and if tomorrow it continues to trade in between the middle and bottom VWAP, then I'm probably not going to take a position, because I don't want to invest in something that's actively trending down. But if we start seeing signs of a reversal of pattern, and that the overall SMA indicator, instead of it acting as a resistance, begins to act as support, then that's definitely something that I would find definitely very attractive, right? Also, looking at it on this 180-day chart, you can see kind of this like upward staircase pattern that it has going on, and it definitely makes sense on why it had this sell-off. For all those that were tuned in for the Learn Plan Profit live chat today, you guys were asking, does FRAC show any potential for a sell-off? Of course, and that's why we made the decision to lock in profits right as the market opened, because it made sense, right? And now I'm going to be talking about the correlation that I've been able to see. I'm going to go to the Flex grid, and I'm going to move this on over. So it's actually ticker symbol /CL. There's this correlation that I want to share with you guys, and if it makes sense to you guys, great. If it doesn't, 100% please ignore what it is that I'm saying, and you guys don't have to use it at all. But pretty much what I want to talk about is looking at both of these charts on the 180-day 4-hour chart. Again, if you look a little bit more into this company, you can see the overall news and certain reports that have been released. I would encourage you to kind of check out this report that was released on June 5th, 2018, when it talks about the rebound for crude oil futures and stuff like that. And one thing that I was looking at is like, okay, well, what future can I look at that can give me a better understanding of the overall direction, right, of FRAC and the way that it's most likely going to be moving, right? I see the potential on the horizontal pattern, but I just wanted a little bit more insight. And we can go back to the main chart, and just so you guys can see on /CL. Let's take when it starts to recover. So if we see this sell-off that it had right here, let's look at the dates, right? When it began to recover, when it really started to push right back up, that was around 4.9. Do you guys see that? It was around 4.9, started to show signs of an uptrend, and then again showed signs of a peak formation around 4.16. Going back to FRAC, going back to when it started to show signs of this overall uptrend, a correlation that I saw is around that same area is when FRAC started showing signs of an uptrend, and around that 416 is really where it started to consolidate. Again, looking a little bit closer, maybe a little bit further back around 2.9, right? That's really when it started to reverse around 2.9, 2.13, started to show signs of an uptrend. Going back to /CL, is that a pattern that we're able to verify and validate that it starts to reverse back up? Again, around 2.5, 2.19, you can see that it was selling off, and then that's when it began to reverse and indicate signs of an uptrend. Again, trying to confirm that a little bit more. Why am I talking about this? Well, you can see now that /CL is showing signs of this, uptrend pattern, and it began this around, it really started to confirm an uptrend pattern around 6.7, 6.11, right? So going back to FRAC, does this make sense, right? Well, if we go back to around 6.7, 6.11, well, it's going back to date, so we're going to have to zoom out a little bit more. You guys can see right here, so around 6.7, 6.11, it started to show more signs of an uptrend pattern. So again, there's pretty much all I'm trying to say is that there's this correlation that I've been able to identify between /CL and the overall direction of when it begins to reverse, and then the overall direction of FRAC and how it tends to go based off of that specific future. It doesn't mean 100% that you should take a position based on a future itself. You should never rely, any position solely on one specific indicator or confirmation, right? But it's just I wanted to provide a little bit more insight on how I'm getting a better understanding of when to expect FRAC to reverse back up and when to expect kind of a peak or a sell-off, and I think being able to utilize the correlation between /CL and FRAC is just something that you guys can add to your table of references when choosing or considering even taking a position with these specific tickers, and that's really just it. Breaking it down again, I see a support for FRAC, so FRAC. Let's go ahead and go. I see a support right around $13.50 and overall resistance right around $15. So with that understanding, the reason why is it's been making higher highs every time that it pushes up, and it's been making lower highs when it does recover. So we're going to be waiting for a recovery, and if the recovery does happen, again, holding above $13.50 and trading in between the middle and top VWAP, then I think that has the potential to break highs of what it made today around $14.60 and end up hitting highs of around $15. I think is pretty realistic, just due to the previous resistance that it had around $15 to $15.20 as of the last time that it was reversing back up. So just let's make sure that we take that into consideration. So from the $13.50 to $15, you can see that's about 11.1%, and then that goes to the overall breakdown that I previously had with the specific breakdown that I shared with you guys, right? The $13.50, $15, 11% potential for profit. I apologize for that, but that is really just it. I'm sorry that I didn't have the live your guys' live chat here while I was breaking it down. I kind of just wanted to get straight to the point, share my thought process, share the correlation that I've been able to make between /CL and ticker symbol FRAC. I hope that it could provide some insight on how you can use specific stocks that you are investing in that are based off certain sectors that futures can have a correlation or an influence in. Maybe it's something that you guys can look into and hopefully guide you in the right direction. So yeah, that's really just it. So I'm pretty pumped. I like the percentage potential for profit. I like the reversal pattern that FRAC is showing. Again, we want to make sure that we wait for that confirmation and actively trending up above the middle and top VWAP. And that is really just it. So are you going to do a live video of you trading for the TechBuds team? Rodrigo, that's something that I'm going to have to follow up with most likely next week and just see how we can set that up. I'd love to, just so you guys can get a taste of what the Learn Plan Profit group gets to experience every single day. So that is really just, it's actually really late. So I would play Gucci Gang, but it's pretty late and I have some of my roommates sleeping. So yeah. We got someone that doesn't know how to act. So, okay. Sorry about that, guys. But, yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day or night. Hope you guys have a good night. We'll see you guys at Market Open tomorrow. So around 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys have any questions or want to get in contact with me, first of all, you guys should know that there's a bunch of fake accounts impersonating me that ask you for personal information. I never ask for personal information. I offer two different groups. My free Facebook group, which has a little bit over 100,000 members, and that's the third link in the description. And then I offer my private trading community, which is the link down below, which is what's it called? Learn Plan Profit, and they get the ability to watch me trade live every day and then access to the private Learn Plan Profit lesson library. So I just want to remind you guys that I never ask for personal information. I never trade for anybody, and if you get a message by someone impersonating me on Instagram, over email, or what's it called, on Facebook. Just please be aware, we're trying to post it everywhere that there's a bunch of spam accounts, and we're reaching out to these different platforms, but we just want to make sure that you guys are all aware of that. So thank you guys again for everything that you guys do. I'll provide you guys an update on the GTR tomorrow and see what it is that we end up doing, but it's time to get some rest. So continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. So cans for a midnight snack, you already know. All right guys, take it easy, team.